Once upon a time, in a busy forest, there was a tiny ant named Aru. Aru was the smallest ant in the entire colony. Other ants were much bigger and stronger than him. Sometimes, they teased him, saying, "Aru, you're so small. You can't even carry a big leaf like us." But Aru didn't mind. He always smiled and worked hard, helping however he could. One day, dark clouds filled the sky. The wind blew fiercely, and the forest animals began to worry. "A storm is coming," they whispered to one another. Back at the ant colony, the queen ant called a meeting. "We need to move to higher ground," she said. "If the rain comes, our home will flood." The ants started packing their things. Big ants carried seeds, leaves, and food. Smaller ants carried eggs to keep the next generation safe. Aru wanted to help too. He picked up a tiny piece of food and joined the line of ants marching to safety. Just as they reached the top of the hill, the rain started. It wasn't just a drizzle. It was a big, heavy downpour. Water rushed through the forest, forming streams and rivers where there had been none. The ants moved quickly, but the rushing water reached the lower tunnels of the colony. Aru's best friend, Mina, cried out, "The eggs! Some of the eggs are still in the tunnels." The queen ant looked worried. "We can't leave them behind, but the water is too dangerous," she said. Aru's tiny heart raced. He knew he had to do something. "I'll go," he said. The other ants gasped. "Aru, you're too small. The water is too strong." But Aru didn't listen. He turned and ran back toward the tunnels. The rain soaked his tiny body, and the water tugged at his legs, but he kept going. When he reached the tunnels, the water was rising fast. He saw the eggs floating in the muddy water. Carefully, Aru picked up one egg at a time and carried it to a dry spot. The water rose higher, but he didn't stop. Aru's legs hurt, and he felt tired, but he thought about the baby ants inside the eggs. "They need me," he whispered to himself. Just as he carried the last egg to safety, a big wave of water rushed through the tunnel. Aru grabbed a small twig and held on tight. The water pushed and pulled, but Aru didn't let go. Finally, the wave passed, and Aru climbed out of the tunnel with the eggs. When Aru returned to the colony, the other ants cheered. "Aru, you did it!" they shouted. Mina hugged him and said, "You're the bravest ant I know." The queen ant smiled proudly. "Aru, you've shown us that even the smallest ant can have the biggest courage." From that day on, the other ants never teased Aru again. They knew that size didn't matter. What mattered was bravery, determination, and a kind heart. Moral of the story: even the smallest person can make the biggest difference when they are brave and determined.